The Galactic Council's mockery. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council was buzzing with the voices of many different alien species. Representatives from all corners of the galaxy had gathered for the annual council meeting. The room was enormous, with high ceilings and walls that shimmered with lights, displaying the stars and planets that made up the known galaxy. At the center of the room was a large round table where the council members sat, each representing a different race. Sitting among them was Zarnuk, a tall and slender alien with blue skin and 4 eyes. He was the representative of the Zarnakian race, known for their advanced technology and intelligence. Zarnuk tapped his long fingers on the table, clearly bored with the discussion. He turned to his neighbor, a green-skinned alien named Drak, from the planet Villara. "Can you believe the humans are still trying to join the council?" Zarnuk said with a smirk. His voice was low, but several heads turned to listen. Everyone loved to hear jokes about humans. Drak chuckled, his scales shaking as he laughed. Humans? What have they ever done that's worth mentioning? They barely managed to leave their own solar system. More aliens began to join in. A furry creature from the planet Quag added, "They still use primitive rockets and metal ships. It's like they're living in the past." The room filled with laughter, the sound echoing through the chamber. The council members always enjoyed mocking humans. Humans were seen as newcomers to the galaxy, weak and insignificant compared to the older, more advanced races. They were known for their curiosity and their stubbornness, but they hadn't achieved anything that impressed the council. As the laughter died down, a door at the side of the chamber opened, and a human walked in. The room fell silent for a moment as the council members turned to look at him. The human ambassador, David Clark, entered with a calm expression on his face. He was dressed in a simple dark suit, unlike the elaborate robes and armor worn by the other council members. His short brown hair and plain appearance made him look ordinary among the exotic aliens. David walked to his seat at the table and sat down, placing a small tablet in front of him. He knew that the council members were mocking humans. He had heard the jokes before. But today, he felt more confident than ever. He had a secret that none of the council members knew about. The council leader, a tall, silver-skinned alien named Sar, stood up. Sar had long, flowing hair and eyes that seemed to glow with a soft light. He raised his hands to quiet the room. "Welcome, members of the Galactic Council," Tar said in a deep voice. "Today, we discuss the matters of the galaxy. But first, let us hear from our human guest, Ambassador David Clark. What do you have to say, human?" David stood up and looked around the table. He could see the amused expressions on the faces of the council members. They didn't take him seriously, but that was about to change. "Thank you, Council Leader Xar," David said. His voice was steady, showing no signs of nervousness. "I am here today to speak on behalf of humanity. We may not have the advanced technology that some of you have. We may not have explored the galaxy as widely as others. But we are not to be underestimated." Zarnuk snickered, and several other council members exchanged glances. David ignored them and continued. "Humans have a saying," David said. "Curiosity is in our nature. We may seem primitive, but we have been working on something new, something that will change how you see us." The council members looked at each other with raised eyebrows. They were curious now. What could the humans have that was so special? David smiled. "We have discovered a way to enter a place beyond our understanding. A place we call the 7th dimension. We have built a vessel capable of traveling there. And soon, we will reveal this vessel to the galaxy." The room was silent. The council members were surprised. The idea of a 7th dimension was unheard of. Even the most advanced races had not spoken of such a thing. Zarnuk's smile faded, replaced by a look of disbelief. "You expect us to believe this?" Zarnuk scoffed. "Humans traveling to another dimension. This is a joke." David shook his head. "It is no joke, Council Member Zarnuk. Our scientists have worked for years to understand the 7th dimension. We have succeeded, and soon You will see the proof with your own eyes." Sar looked at David with a thoughtful expression. "If what you say is true, it would be a remarkable achievement. But how can we trust the word of humans? You have yet to prove yourselves." David met Sar's gaze. "We will prove it, and when we do, you will see that humans are not to be mocked. We have much to offer the galaxy, more than you can imagine." With that, David sat down. The room was buzzing with whispered conversations. The council members were no longer laughing. They were intrigued, maybe even a little worried. What if the humans were telling the truth? What if they really had discovered something new? As the meeting continued, David watched the council members. He knew that humanity's time was coming. They had been underestimated for too long. Soon, the galaxy would see what humans were truly capable of. The council could laugh all they wanted, but David knew that the last laugh would belong to humanity. Humanity's secret project. David Clark left the Galactic Council chamber with a small smile on his face. As he walked through the long, glowing corridors of the council building, his thoughts were focused on the reactions of the council members. He knew he had shocked them. They didn't expect humans to have anything impressive, much less something related to the mysterious seventh dimension. Outside the building, David was met by his assistant, a young woman named Maria. She had dark hair tied back in a neat bun and wore a simple blue uniform. Her eyes lit up when she saw David. "How did it go?" Maria asked eagerly. David grinned. "I think we got their attention. They thought it was a joke, but now they're curious. The next phase of our plan will show them we mean business." Maria nodded, her expression turning serious. "Do you think they're ready for what we're about to reveal?" David paused for a moment. "Maybe not. But it's time the galaxy sees what we can do. It's time for them to stop underestimating us." Together, they walked towards a sleek, silver transport waiting outside. The transport would take them to a secret human base hidden on a remote moon. As they flew through the stars, David thought back to the beginning of the project, which had started many years ago, long before he was involved. The project was called Echo 7, named after the seventh dimension. It all began when human scientists discovered strange energy readings during an experiment. These readings didn't match anything known in their universe. After years of study, they realized they had found a gateway to another dimension, a place they called the seventh dimension. It was unlike anything they had seen before, an entire new realm of existence. At first, the scientists kept their discovery a secret. They knew that other species would want to control such a powerful technology. The project was moved to a hidden location, deep in space, far from prying eyes. There, the best human minds worked together to understand the seventh dimension and build a ship that could travel there. David and Maria soon arrived at the secret base. The base was hidden inside a large asteroid, making it impossible to detect from the outside. Only those who knew the secret codes could enter. As their transport approached, a hidden door in the asteroid opened, allowing them inside. The inside of the base was bustling with activity. Scientists and engineers moved quickly, checking screens and running tests. The air was filled with the hum of machinery. At the center of the base was the pride of humanity, the ship they had built to explore the seventh dimension. They called it the Astral Voyager. The Astral Voyager was a sleek, black vessel. Unlike any other ship, it had a smooth, almost organic shape, with no visible engines or weapons. The ship's hull was made from a strange, shimmering material that seemed to change color when viewed from different angles. This material was designed to withstand the unknown forces of the seventh dimension. David and Maria walked up to a tall man with white hair and a kind face, who was overseeing the work. This was Dr. Leonard Hale, the chief scientist of the Echo 7 project. He had been there since the beginning, guiding the team through countless challenges. "How did the council meeting go?" Dr. Hale asked as he greeted them. David smiled. They were surprised. They didn't believe we had anything special. But I told them about the seventh dimension, and now they're curious. The next step is to show them the astral voyager. Dr. Hale nodded. It's about time. The ship is ready. We've run every test we can think of. All we need now is to show the galaxy what humans can do. Maria looked at the ship in awe. Even though she had seen it many times, it never failed to amaze her. The astral voyager was not just a ship. It was a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. It represented everything that made humans unique: their curiosity, their courage, and their drive to explore the unknown. As they stood there, watching the final preparations, David felt a sense of pride. Humanity had come so far, from a small isolated planet to a species ready to explore new dimensions. He knew that the other races still saw humans as primitive and weak, but they were about to see the truth. Dr. Hale turned to David. We're planning the first public test flight for tomorrow. We'll invite the council members to witness it. If all goes well, the astral voyager will enter the 7th dimension and return safely. Then they'll have to take us seriously. David nodded. Make sure everything is perfect. We can't afford any mistakes. This is our chance to prove ourselves, not just to the council, but to the entire galaxy. Dr. Hale smiled. Don't worry. The team has worked hard to get to this point. We won't let you down. As the day ended, David and Maria watched the scientists and engineers continue their work. The astral voyager stood in the center of the base, ready for its first journey into the unknown. David knew that tomorrow would be a turning point for humanity. The galaxy would no longer see them as a joke. They would be known as pioneers, explorers of new realms. With a final look at the astral voyager, David and Maria left the base, ready to prepare for the next day's events. As they stepped into the transport, David knew that this was only the beginning. The astral voyager was more than a ship. It was a promise of a new future, a future where humanity was respected and feared across the galaxy. Entering the 7th dimension, the day of the test flight had arrived. The secret base inside the asteroid was buzzing with excitement and nervous energy. The scientists and engineers made their final checks on the astral voyager. Every wire, every circuit, and every system had to be perfect. The ship would soon enter the 7th dimension for the first time in history. David Clark stood in the command center, watching the activity. The large screen showed different angles of the astral voyager, and smaller screens displayed data and readouts. David's eyes were focused on the ship. This was the moment they had all been working toward. Maria was beside him, holding a tablet and checking the final checklist. All systems are green, she said, looking up at David. The ship is ready. David nodded. Good. Now we just need our guests to arrive. A few minutes later, a door at the back of the command center opened and several Galactic Council members walked in. David could see Tar, Zarnak, Drak, and a few others. They looked around the command center with curiosity, their eyes widening as they saw the screens showing the astral voyager. Welcome, council members, David said with a smile. I'm glad you could join us. Today, you will witness the beginning of a new era. Sar stepped forward, his silver skin shimmering in the light. You claim to have built a ship that can enter another dimension. If this is true, it would be a significant achievement, but we need proof. David gestured to the large screen showing the astral voyager. You will have your proof. In a few minutes, the astral voyager will enter the 7th dimension and return. You will see it with your own eyes. Zarnak crossed his arms, still looking skeptical. Humans are known for their tricks and illusions. I hope this is not one of them. David met Zarnak's gaze. This is no trick. We have spent years developing the technology. The astral voyager will succeed. Dr. Leonard Hale entered the command center, joining David and Maria. He nodded to the council members. We are ready to begin, he said. He turned to the main screen and gave a signal to the crew. The lights in the command center dimmed, and the main screen switched to a live feed of the astral voyager. The ship stood in the middle of the hangar, its black hull shimmering. The room was silent as everyone watched. "Beginning countdown," said a voice over the speakers. The numbers appeared on the screen, counting down from 10. 10, 9, 8. David felt his heart beating faster. This was the moment they had all been waiting for. 7, 6, 5. The council members leaned forward, their eyes fixed on the screen. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. The astral Voyager began to glow with a soft blue light. The shimmering material of its hull absorbed the light, making the ship look like it was alive. The air around the ship seemed to ripple as the energy field activated. The ship was ready to enter the 7th dimension. "Activating dimensional drive," Dr. Hale announced. The blue light around the ship grew brighter, and a low hum filled the air. The sound resonated through the command center, vibrating in everyone's chest. The astral Voyager slowly lifted off the ground, hovering in midair. Then, with a flash of light, the ship vanished. The screen showed nothing but an empty hangar. The astral Voyager was gone. The council members gasped, and a murmur ran through the room. The ship had disappeared right before their eyes. David watched the screen, his hands clenched behind his back. He knew this was the most critical moment. The ship had entered the 7th dimension, a place unknown to everyone. Now, they had to wait and see if it would return. Seconds felt like hours as they waited. The tension in the room was thick. The council members whispered to each other, their eyes darting to David and Dr. Hale. They wanted answers, but all they could do was wait. After what seemed like an eternity, the screen flickered. The blue light reappeared in the hangar, growing brighter. With another flash, the astral Voyager was back, hovering in the same spot it had left. The hum died down, and the ship gently lowered itself back to the ground. Cheers erupted in the command center. The humans were clapping and smiling, relief and pride on their faces. Dr. Hale looked at David, a wide grin on his face. "We did it," Maria said, her eyes shining with excitement. David nodded, his heart pounding with joy. "Yes, we did. The astral Voyager made it back. We have proof." Sar and the other council members were silent, their eyes wide with shock. They had seen the ship disappear and reappear. There was no denying what had happened. Sar stepped forward, his expression serious. "What did your ship see in the 7th dimension?" Dr. Hale turned to Sar. "We recorded everything. The data is being analyzed. But we know this. The 7th dimension is real, and we have the technology to travel there." Zarnak looked at the ship, disbelief still on his face. "How could humans achieve this? You are not known for such advancements." David smiled. "Humans are known for many things, including our ability to surprise. We may be newcomers to the galaxy, but we are not to be underestimated." Sar nodded slowly. "You have shown us something remarkable today. The Galactic Council will need to discuss what this means. But know this, Ambassador Clark, humanity has earned our respect." David felt a wave of satisfaction. Humanity had done the impossible. They had proven their worth to the galaxy. As the council members left the command center, David knew that this was just the beginning. The astral Voyager had opened the door to a new era, one where humans were no longer seen as weak or insignificant. They were explorers, pioneers, and soon, everyone would know the name of the humans who traveled to the 7th dimension. The return and the discovery. The command center was filled with applause as the astral Voyager returned from the 7th dimension. The excitement in the room was electric. Humanity had just accomplished something no other species had ever done. The Galactic Council members, once skeptical and dismissive, were now standing with a mixture of awe and confusion on their faces. David Clark stood in the middle of the room, watching the astral Voyager on the large screen. The ship's black hull shimmered under the lights of the hangar. David felt a rush of pride and relief. They had done it. They had proved the skeptics wrong. Dr. Leonard Hale walked up to David, his face beaming. "The ship is back, and the data is coming in. The mission was a complete success. David nodded, still staring at the screen. What did they see? What's in the seventh dimension? Dr. Hale checked his tablet, his fingers moving quickly across the screen. The initial data is fascinating. The seventh dimension is unlike anything we've ever imagined. The laws of physics are different. Time and space behave in ways we can't fully understand yet. Maria joined them, her face lit with excitement. We've recorded images and sensor readings. There are colors and shapes we've never seen before. It's like a whole new universe. David turned to the Galactic Council members, who were still watching the screen in stunned silence. Council members, David said, breaking their trance, as you can see, the astral Voyager has returned safely. We have gathered data from the seventh dimension. Humanity has made a great discovery today, one that will change our understanding of the universe. Czar, the leader of the council, stepped forward, his silver skin reflecting the light. His expression was serious. Ambassador Clark, you have indeed shown us something incredible. But this discovery raises many questions. What is the nature of this dimension? Is it safe? And most importantly, what have you brought back? Drac, one of the council members, spoke up, his voice filled with concern. If this dimension is so different, it could be dangerous. We do not know what effects it could have on our universe. Have you considered the risks? David met Drac's gaze. We have considered the risks. That's why we've taken every precaution. The astral Voyager was designed to withstand the unknown. We've brought back valuable data, but no physical objects were taken from the seventh dimension. We're being careful. Maria looked at David, then at the council members. We believe the seventh dimension holds answers to many of the universe's mysteries. Understanding it could lead to advances in technology, science, and even medicine. The possibilities are endless. Sar nodded slowly. We will need to analyze the data. The Galactic Council must discuss the implications of this discovery. But know this, Ambassador Clark, you have the Council's attention. Humanity has shown it is capable of great things. We will watch your progress closely. David felt a sense of satisfaction. They had gained the Council's respect. Thank you, Akhtar. We look forward to working with the Council to explore the seventh dimension further. As the Council members left the command center, David turned back to Dr. Hale and Maria. Let's review the data. I want to know everything we can about the seventh dimension. This is just the beginning. Dr. Hale nodded, already focused on his tablet. Agreed. The more we learn, the better prepared we'll be for our next mission. The command center's lights dimmed as the main screen displayed the data collected by the astral Voyager. The images were unlike anything they had ever seen. Swirls of colors that defied explanation, shapes that seemed to shift and change. There were patterns that made no sense, and yet there was a strange beauty to it all. Maria stared at the screen, her eyes wide. This is incredible. It's like looking into a dream. Dr. Hale nodded. These are just the visual recordings. The sensors picked up energy readings, magnetic fields, and radiation levels that don't exist in our dimension. It's a whole new frontier. David watched the screen, his mind racing with possibilities. We need to understand what we're looking at. If we can make sense of these readings, it could change everything. Dr. Hale tapped a few buttons on his tablet, bringing up more data. I've detected a signal. It's faint, but it's there. It's coming from within the seventh dimension. It's like a heartbeat, a pulse. Maria looked at Dr. Hale, her expression curious. A signal. Could it be a natural phenomenon? Or could it be a sign of life? David's eyes widened at the thought. Life in the seventh dimension. It was a possibility he hadn't considered. If there's a signal, it could mean there's more to the seventh dimension than we thought. We need to investigate further. Dr. Hale nodded. I agree. We should prepare another mission. The astral Voyager is equipped to handle more exploration. We can send it back, gather more data, and see if we can pinpoint the source of the signal. David felt a thrill of excitement. They were on the verge of a great discovery. Let's do it. Prepare the ship. I want the astral voyager ready for another journey into the seventh dimension. As the team moved to begin preparations, David looked back at the screen. The swirling colors and strange shapes filled him with a sense of wonder. The universe was full of mysteries, and humanity was just beginning to uncover them. The seventh dimension was a gateway to new knowledge, and David was determined to explore it. They had entered the unknown, and there was no turning back. The Galactic thread. David Clark walked through the bustling command center, deep in thought. Ever since the astral voyager returned, his mind had been consumed by the strange signal they detected from the seventh dimension. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was something important they were missing. David, Dr. Leonard Hale called, waving him over to his station. You need to see this. David quickly moved to Hale's side. The screen displayed a series of complex readings, which Dr. Hale was comparing with known data. Hale's face was pale, his usual enthusiasm replaced with worry. What is it, Leonard? David asked, his voice tense. It's the signal we detected from the seventh dimension, Dr. Hale replied. I've run it through our most advanced analysis software, and it's not just a natural occurrence. This signal has structure. It's repeating patterns, almost like a code. David frowned. Are you saying it's artificial? Could it be a message? Dr. Hale nodded slowly. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This signal, it's too organized to be random. It feels like a communication. But that's not the worst part. David's heart skipped a beat. What do you mean? Dr. Hale took a deep breath. I've compared this signal to others we've picked up across the galaxy. It matches patterns from transmissions we've intercepted from the Xylar Imperium. David felt a chill run down his spine. The Xylar Imperium was one of the most feared empires in the galaxy. Known for their advanced technology and ruthless tactics, the Xylar were a force that even the Galactic Council treated with caution. Are you sure? David asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Dr. Hale nodded. The match is strong. I believe that Xylar have access to the seventh dimension, or at least they're trying to communicate with it. If they know about it, then they might see it as a new territory to conquer. David felt a surge of anger. The Xylar Imperium would see the seventh dimension as just another resource to exploit, a new domain to dominate. If they succeeded, they could gain technology and power beyond imagination. It would upset the balance of the galaxy. We need to tell the Galactic Council, David said firmly. They need to know that the Xylar might have knowledge of the seventh dimension. This could be a threat to all of us. Maria, who had been listening to their conversation, stepped forward. David, if the Xylar are involved, we might not have much time. They'll act quickly. We need to be prepared for anything. David nodded. You're right. We need to strengthen our defenses and ensure the astral voyager is ready for anything. If the Xylar come, we need to be prepared to defend ourselves. Dr. Hale's fingers flew over his keyboard, bringing up more data. I'll analyze the signal further. We need to find out what kind of communication this is. If it's a message, we need to know what it says. As the team worked, the command center buzzed with activity. The sense of urgency was palpable. David felt a growing sense of dread. The discovery of the seventh dimension was supposed to be a great achievement for humanity, a step forward into the unknown. Now it seemed like it could be the start of a new conflict. Hours later, Dr. Hale called David and Maria back to his station. His face was grave. I've managed to decode part of the signal, Dr. Hale said. It's a directive, a command. The Xylar are planning to send a fleet to the seventh dimension. They see it as an unclaimed territory. If they succeed, they'll establish a stronghold there. This could give them an advantage in every possible way. David clenched his fists. We can't let that happen. The seventh dimension is a discovery for all species, not just the Xylar. We have to stop them. Maria nodded in agreement. The Galactic Council will need to act fast. We have to convince them that the Xylar Imperium is a threat, not just to us, but to the entire galaxy. If they gain control of the seventh dimension, who knows what they could do? David turned to the communication console. We need to contact the Galactic Council immediately. They need to know what's at stake. The Xylar won't hesitate to use any advantage they find. We have to be ready to protect our discovery. As David sent the urgent message to the Galactic Council, he knew that humanity's greatest challenge was yet to come. The Xylar Imperium was a formidable opponent, and they wouldn't back down easily. The discovery of the seventh dimension had changed everything. What started as a journey into the unknown was now a race to protect the galaxy's future. David looked at his team, their faces determined. We've made a breakthrough, but now we have to defend it. We won't let the Xylar turn this into a weapon. Humanity will stand firm. As the team prepared for what was to come, the reality of their situation set in. The seventh dimension held more than just scientific curiosity. It held the key to the future of the galaxy, and they would do everything in their power to ensure it didn't fall into the wrong hands. The battle unfolds. The command center was alive with activity. Red alert lights flashed, casting an urgent glow across the room. David Clark paced back and forth, his mind racing as he awaited news from the Galactic Council. "David, we've received confirmation," Maria announced, rushing over with a tablet in hand. "The Galactic Council has authorized a defense initiative. They're sending a combined fleet to the seventh dimension to stop the Xylar from establishing a foothold." David nodded, feeling a mixture of relief and anxiety. "Good. We need every advantage we can get. What's our status on the Astral Voyager?" Dr. Leonard Hale, who was working at a nearby console, looked up. "The ship is fully prepared. All systems are operational. We're ready to deploy." David glanced at the large screen showing a view of the seventh dimension, its swirling colors and mysterious shapes now familiar but still awe-inspiring. "Let's get the Astral Voyager into position. We need to be ready for the Xylar." The team moved swiftly. The Astral Voyager was equipped with the latest technology, designed to handle the unpredictable nature of the seventh dimension. As the ship prepared for departure, David couldn't shake the feeling of impending danger. Hours later, the Astral Voyager emerged from hyperspace, approaching the seventh dimension's entry point. The sight was breathtaking. The swirling vortex of the seventh dimension seemed to pulse with energy, like a living entity. David took a deep breath. "All right, team. Stay sharp. We don't know what we'll face." The Astral Voyager entered the seventh dimension, and the crew braced themselves. The transition was smooth, but the surroundings were immediately different. The colors were more vibrant, the shapes more fluid. It felt like navigating through a dream. Dr. Leonard Hale joined them, looking over the data from the battle. "The Galactic Council is pleased with our performance. They're already discussing how to fortify the seventh dimension and prevent future threats." David glanced at Hale. "That's good to hear. We've proven that we can handle a crisis, but we need to stay vigilant. The seventh dimension holds many secrets, and we must be prepared for whatever comes next." As the crew began the process of debriefing and analyzing the data from their mission, a new sense of purpose emerged. The Astral Voyager had become a symbol of human courage and ingenuity. They had faced one of the galaxy's most formidable threats and emerged victorious. The ship made its way to a nearby space station for repairs and resupply. As they docked, the crew was met with cheers and applause from the station's personnel. The news of their victory had spread quickly, and humanity's reputation had been significantly enhanced. David and his team were greeted by the station's commander, Admiral Kelsey. "Congratulations, Captain Clark. Your performance in the battle was exemplary. The entire galaxy has taken notice." David shook the Admiral's hand, feeling the sense of pride. "Thank you, Admiral. We couldn't have done it without the support of our crew and the technology we had at our disposal." Admiral Kelsey nodded. "The Galactic Council is planning to hold a ceremony in your honor. Your bravery and leadership have made a significant impact. Humanity has shown that it is a force to be reckoned with. As the crew disembarked from the astral Voyager, they were greeted by a reception in their honor. It was a celebration of their hard work and dedication. The event was filled with speeches, awards, and expressions of gratitude. During the ceremony, David gave a speech to the gathered crowd. "We've faced many challenges and dangers, but we've done so with courage and determination. The battle for the seventh dimension was just one step in our journey. We have proven that humanity is capable of great things, and we will continue to strive for excellence." The audience applauded, their cheers echoing through the hall. David felt a deep sense of satisfaction. They had defended their discovery and shown the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. As the celebrations continued, Maria and Dr. Hale joined David on the observation deck of the space station. They looked out at the stars, their faces reflecting the soft glow of the distant lights. "It's hard to believe how much has changed," Maria said, her voice filled with awe. "We started this mission seeking knowledge, and now we've made a mark on the galaxy." Dr. Hale nodded. "The seventh dimension holds incredible potential. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible. But one thing is clear: humanity has proven that we belong on the galactic stage." David smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. This is just the beginning. We have a lot to explore and discover. The seventh dimension is a new frontier, and we'll continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. As they stood together, gazing out at the stars, David felt a deep sense of pride in what they had accomplished. The battle had been intense, but it had forged a new path for humanity. They had defended their discovery, shown their strength, and proved that they were ready for the challenges of the galaxy. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity had stepped into a new era, one where they would face new challenges, make new discoveries, and continue to prove their worth in the vast expanse of space. With renewed determination, David and his team prepared for the next chapter in their journey. The seventh dimension awaited, and humanity was ready to embrace the adventure that lay ahead. Dr. Leonard Hale joined them, looking over the data from the battle. "The Galactic Council is pleased with our performance. They're already discussing how to fortify the seventh dimension and prevent future threats." David glanced at Hale. "That's good to hear. We've proven that we can handle a crisis, but we need to stay vigilant. The seventh dimension holds many secrets, and we must be prepared for whatever comes next." As the crew began the process of debriefing and analyzing the data from their mission, a new sense of purpose emerged. The astral Voyager had become a symbol of human courage and ingenuity. They had faced one of the galaxy's most formidable threats and emerged victorious. The ship made its way to a nearby space station for repairs and resupply. As they docked, the crew was met with cheers and applause from the station's personnel. The news of their victory had spread quickly, and humanity's reputation had been significantly enhanced. David and his team were greeted by the station's commander, Admiral Kelsey. "Congratulations, Captain Clark. Your performance in the battle was exemplary. The entire galaxy has taken notice." David shook the Admiral's hand, feeling the sense of pride. "Thank you, Admiral. We couldn't have done it without the support of our crew and the technology we had at our disposal." Admiral Kelsey nodded. "The Galactic Council is planning to hold a ceremony in your honor. Your bravery and leadership have made a significant impact. Humanity has shown that it is a force to be reckoned with." As the crew disembarked from the astral Voyager, they were greeted by a reception in their honor. It was a celebration of their hard work and dedication. The event was filled with speeches, awards, and expressions of gratitude. During the ceremony, David gave a speech to the gathered crowd. "We've faced many challenges and dangers, but we've done so with courage and determination. The battle for the seventh dimension was just one step in our journey. We have proven that humanity is capable of great things, and we will continue to strive for excellence." The audience applauded, their cheers echoing through the hall. David felt a deep sense of satisfaction. They had defended their discovery and shown the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. As the celebrations continued, Maria and Dr. Hale joined David on the observation deck of the space station. They looked out at the stars, their faces reflecting the soft glow of the distant lights. "It's hard to believe how much has changed," Maria said, her voice filled with awe. "We started this mission seeking knowledge, and now we've made a mark on the galaxy." Dr. Hale nodded. "The seventh dimension holds incredible potential. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible. But one thing is clear. Humanity has proven that we belong on the galactic stage." David smiled, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. This is just the beginning. We have a lot to explore and discover. The seventh dimension is a new frontier, and we'll continue to push the boundaries of what's possible. As they stood together, gazing out at the stars, David felt a deep sense of pride in what they had accomplished. The battle had been intense, but it had forged a new path for humanity. They had defended their discovery, shown their strength, and proved that they were ready for the challenges of the galaxy. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity had stepped into a new era, one where they would face new challenges, make new discoveries, and continue to prove their worth in the vast expanse of space. With renewed determination, David and his team prepared for the next chapter in their journey. The seventh dimension awaited, and humanity was ready to embrace the adventure that lay ahead.